Hello, everybody. How are you? So, I'm done with all my Foodie Beauty Reacts for the moment, and I thought I'd check in with Amberlynn Reid because she has been going through it in a sense. She has been looking into surgery to help her with her problem with food, and I did a react before on Amber, and I've stressed the point that if you got a problem with food, surgery is not going to fix it. Because the problem with food starts in the mind. It starts with your emotions. It starts with your psychological state. All that a surgeon can do is make your stomach smaller, but they cannot cure any kind of other issues that are not related to the physical body. So she is very impatient to have this surgery to control her weight. And she just keeps pushing it. She's just so impatient to find a doctor that will give her the surgery. And I'm just over here shaking my head because she just will not accept the fact that she should wait a lot longer in order to get the surgery to have it safely. If she wants to start losing weight, she could start now. She can start with a proper diet, watching her portions, exercising. At her current weight, she could lose a lot of weight right now. One of the doctors told her to wait at least a year before surgery. If she waited a year and if she did all of the things that I just mentioned, she could probably drop between 50 to 100 pounds, and that would make it safer for her to have the surgery. But she's, I guess, doctor shopping and looking for someone that will agree with her and give her a date. Amber, you're wasting your time. And you're wasting the time of the doctors. They have a process for a reason. And the reason is it's not because they want to make things difficult for you. It's because they're looking out for your health. They're looking out for your mental and physical health. They want to make sure that if you have the surgery that you make it off the table, because complications do happen during surgery, and the healthier you are, the less complications there are going to be. But she just keeps pushing. She keeps pushing, doctor shopping, and really she should stop because her problem with food is far from over. So I wanted to react to her video called Lab Results, Weight Loss Surgery Update, and Am I a Spoiled Brat Vlog. It's not that long of a vlog, so it shouldn't take that long. Let me go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see and hear what I do. Okay, so there's Miss Amber. Before we get into her video, let's go to the comments. I like going to the comments first. What do the people have to say? So McKenna Ryan says, as a former healthcare worker, I can promise you that nothing looks worse than a patient insisting that things should work differently for them and they should get special treatment. That's a massive red flag, right? Uh, if you're someone and you are looking to get healthy and doctors are saying you should wait a year, trying to get pushy and impatient, it just does not look good on you, Amber. It really, really doesn't. Lunar Moth says this happens whenever you reach any setback or someone tells you something you don't want to hear. You get upset, you threaten to give up, you lament about how unfair it is, you question the knowledge and intelligence of the professionals giving you advice, and you basically say, I need this done my way, or it's not going to work at all. That's throwing a tantrum, right? It is throwing a temper tantrum. And Amber, you're far too old to be acting this childish and being this impatient. If people are telling you the surgery is not for you right now, there's a good reason why. And the reason is because they're looking out for you and they're protecting you. You should not look at the people saying that to you as they just don't want to do it. No, it's because they don't feel you're ready. They might be saving your life by denying you the surgery, because if they put you under right now, it might be extremely risky. Cryptid on Strike says, Amber, I don't think this helped your case the way you thought it would. You said you weren't throwing a tantrum, But when you explained that what was actually happening, the thing you described was still a tantrum. I understand that it's hard to have no control. The control of your situation is what got you here. You can't just work on finding ways to feel in control of this journey. You have to find ways to cope with letting things be out of your control. You have to prove to yourself that these people, before they'll schedule your surgery, and they told you exactly how. That's what you can control. The rest is not up to you, and you have to learn to be okay with that. I know it's hard, but it's the only way. Amber, I got a big question for you. If you ever watch this video, let's just say right now they did give you the surgery. Woman to woman, as one person on my side, that I had a problem with food and I got it under control and I'm in recovery and I've been in recovery, and looking at you, someone that you are not even close to being in recovery. Let's just say they did give you the surgery. Right now, you made it off the table. Your stomach is healed up. Okay, so your stomach is smaller. Do you think that's going to stop the urges to go to food? It's not. And if your stomach is a lot smaller, all you're going to do is make yourself ill, very, very ill repeatedly. And if you are going to town on the food, you might rupture your stomach. You might have to go to the hospital because you had the surgery. Now your stomach can't handle large amounts of food. And if you go too far, it could be very fatal. So again, the surgeons are looking out for you. The doctors are looking out for you. They are not your enemy. They are saying, we are looking at you and we know you're not ready. This is very risky surgery. And if you go under, it's not just going to be like a quick diet that you're on and you're off. What you have to go through is a complete lifestyle change. You have to change the way you eat. You have to stay away from certain things after surgery. Once you get to surgery, no more carbonated drinks. That's out the window. No more soda. Okay, you can only eat small amounts. It's a lifestyle change for life. And if you're over there throwing temper tantrums, you're mad because things aren't going your way right away, your mind is not in the place to make those changes and make them stick. Okay? Kay Sim says her wanting to speak to the surgeon directly is giving that let me talk to the manager vibes. Right. And you know what? Surgeon ain't got time for that. He ain't got time for that. He's got a job to do. And even if you did talk to the surgeon, what are you going to say? I want this surgery right away, so I'm just going to hop up on the table and you got to do it right now. No, no, no. They want to operate on a patient that the surgery is going to stick. Like I said, it's very risky, intense surgery. I don't think your body's ready for it. Lance Peters says, math is math, Amber. It isn't a subjective language you can twist like a pretzel to fit your screwed up narrative. Nope. Moby says, the issue is when you say, I don't hold on to success for long, I fall flat, then I have nothing to work for. You are admitting you are not ready for the surgery. You will plateau. You will have months where the scale doesn't move at all, and you will give up this mentality and ruin your process. That's an issue that is keeping you from surgery, right? The whole defeatist attitude. Before the race even starts, she's throwing up her hands and saying, I quit. You can't have the I quit attitude. You can't have it before the surgery. You certainly can't have it after the surgery. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments where you want to give up, or you have a bad moment, but you've got to have that winner attitude of, I'm going to keep at this. I'm going to keep pushing. She doesn't have it. She's looking at the surgery as a quick fix, some magic wand that's going to wave over her and she's going to lose a bunch of weight really quickly and all of her health problems are going to disappear. That's not how it works. It's not what it's for. Cloudcatcher says, Amber's the type of friend that talks about herself the whole time. then zones out when it's your turn to talk, right? It's like me, I feel sorry for me, even though you did it to yourself, Amber. You got on YouTube. Remember, when your channel started, you were in the 300s, and you made the choice to eat excessively and monetize your problem, and now you're in the 500s. So you did the damage to yourself, therefore you have to correct the damage to yourself. And you can't get mad at other people for not doing what you want. You just can't do it. And if you really cared about yourself, you would commit yourself to healing the damage. And if somebody says no surgery for now, you know what the best attitude to have is? Okay, so they said I can't have the surgery. That's okay. I can still do the work at home and make myself healthy. I can do it for myself. There's lots of people that perhaps they are obese or super morbidly obese, and they make that it clicks in their head that they just have to do something, and they get it started. They get the game started. They go into therapy if they have a problem with food. They start working out. They start eating healthy. They work out at home. They do whatever it is they have to do, and they start losing weight here and there. And they just keep with it until they are where they want to be. But you're not willing to do that. You think that the surgery will fix everything. You think it's going to stop you from going to food. It won't. There's lots of people who've gotten the surgery that they did not fix the mental, emotional, and then they went right back to food. So the surgery is not like a cure-all, fix-all. Let's see. Freakzilla said, if you're as ready to change your life as you claim to be, then the actual date of the surgery shouldn't matter in the slightest. Show everyone you're changing through action. Words don't mean crap. Right. Don't tell us, show us. If the date were 6 months from now, what are you going to do? Sit on your butt for 6 months and wait for the surgery? If you sit on your butt for 6 months, that could have been 6 months that you could have, been in the process of healing yourself, going to therapy, fixing your mind, fixing your emotions, maybe losing some weight. Maybe you could lose 40 or 50 pounds by then. And wouldn't it just be worth it? So 6 months, a year, you can do a lot in that amount of time. Just sitting around and waiting for the results to happen, do not make them happen. Let's see. Tila Talk says the surgeon should deny you. If you aren't willing to do whatever it takes, you shouldn't have it. If you need a surgery date in order to stay on track, then you aren't ready. I'm 21 years post-op, and I've mentored many people from pre-op to 1 year post-op. She's too all over the place. See, and here's somebody who's actually gone through it, and even they are saying you're not ready. They're not a doctor, they're not a surgeon, but they've been to the surgery. Somebody who's mentored people that have before they went through it, after they went through it, and she's saying you're not ready. And I believe her. I believe her. I don't think you're ready. I think you're too much of a brat. You want everything your way. You're kind of throwing a temper tantrum. You're not ready. You're not even willing to do the work and get the process started before the surgery happens. Laura Ash Evans says, girl, they are not going to schedule the surgery until you're approved. You can't expect them to change their policy just for you. Also, just because some others have experienced things one way does not mean that is the way it'll go for you. All offices and all doctors are different. Stop comparing yourself and journey with what other people are telling you they did and just focus on you and what your team is telling you, right? Every case is different. Every case is different. But of course, Amber's in a hurry. So that's some of the comments. I don't want to, there's a lot of them, a lot of great comments, but I want to get on with our video. I don't want this react to be too terribly long. So let's just hear what Amber has to say. The beginning part of this video, she was just doing a book review, but let's start from here.
Very low. So they're prescribing me like a very high dosage of vitamin D for me to take once a week, prescribed. So I'm actually going to go get that from the pharmacy. So I'm just very relieved to hear that, like, your girl, the results came back pretty well because I knew that my vitamin D was low. Like it's been low. It's been very low for years now. So yeah, I just know I'm gonna feel a lot better taking this really high dosage vitamin D because I've taken one in the past and it helps a lot. So another update I have is you guys know how like I said that I found out that I have to go a whole year without binging, and like I kind of had like a little breakdown moment. Like I cried in front of my dietitian. It was embarrassing, but you know, I just felt very overwhelmed. I didn't like take advantage at the time and like ask more questions about why this is or just
You know, the most disturbing part to me, Amber, I understand that you had very high hopes for the surgery. Very high hopes, and that's why you broke down, but really why you should be breaking down is the fact that the doctor said you have to go a whole year without having a B moment. And you cried over that. Why did you cry over that? Because maybe it's because you know that you keep having B moments. And you just kept thinking, I have to go a whole year without a B moment. Yeah, you do. You've got to be free of that for about a year. So you're crying about not getting the surgery right away, but it should give you pause to stop and think about the fact that you haven't had a whole year without a B moment. You know, if that means you're not in recovery, you're not even close. I've had more than a few without a B moment. That means I am in recovery, but you're not. So you want surgery even though you're not in recovery. You're not even close to being in recovery. Do you see how disastrous that can be? All they can do is just reduce the size of your stomach, but they can't fix your mind. They can't fix your emotions. They can't stop those urges. A small stomach and the urge to do the B thing, disastrous, dangerous, shouldn't happen. That's why they're stopping you.
just like understand the situation a little bit more. So I have an option of emailing her. So I took advantage of that option and I kindly just wanted to like understand things a little bit more. So we've actually been emailing back and forth for a couple of days, and she has explained things a little bit better for me, that like there is someone like above her, a psychologist above her, who actually reads like all her notes on her patients, and they help decide like the further plan for her patients. And the psychologist thinks that this is what's best for me, and so does the dietitian. But she also wants the surgeon's opinion because everyone is different, every story is different, everyone is a different plan. It's not one size fits all at all. So she's actually talking to the surgeon tomorrow about my story and my situation in particular, and she said she's going to get back to me.
You know, stop right here for a second. There's something I want to show y'all. Something I'd like to show you guys. Okay? Show you a reason why Amber should not have the surgery. And this is on her own channel, mind you. So let's look at her videos. Let's look at the thumbnails. Okay, so this was the thumbnail for the video was, this was 12 days ago, her eating food. So you got a problem with food, but yet you're doing videos where you're eating food. You're still monetizing your problem with food. You're not taking that out of your content. Do you understand now why the surgeons and the psychologists and the dietitians are saying no to you? Let's keep going. What else do we got here? Okay. All right. Then we've got another one where you're eating candy bars. This was 1 month ago. Another one where you're eating messy tacos. That was 2 months ago. Oh, and You got another one where you're, two of them where you're eating spaghetti. I don't even know what that is in your mouth right there, but more food. And we're not even going back an entire year. Thanksgiving dinner, eating more food. So you haven't gone an entire year without including food and eating food in your content. Oh, here we go. This video I really love. This is the one I reacted to. Ice cream taste test, where you were sampling 5 types of ice cream. That was 3 months ago. So you got a problem with food, and you're monetizing your problem with food. If you have a problem with food, in my opinion, you should not be including food into your content. You should not be turning it into something that makes you money. You should focus on other things to help keep you away from your bad habits. But here you are just going back 3 months, and you've got several videos where you're showing yourself eating. So you are catering to the feeders. You know you're catering to the feeders. So you got 38K views on the video that I am reviewing, but look here. This video got 70K views. The one, like the one with the looks like some kind of pizza. I don't even know what that is. So 38K views. The one with the food, 70K. What else? Candy bars, 55K. So maybe you experience an uptick in how much money you make based on what you do in the videos. And so you eat food on purpose to trigger people, I guess, or to attract the feeders. I'm not sure. But you are monetizing your problem with food. If you got a problem with something, if you're out of control with something, the last thing you should be doing is monetizing it and including that as a way to make profit. Because once you do that, it's going to be harder to get away from it. Do you see? How can you get away from something if you're making money with it? The only way to get away from that is to find something else that's interesting and include that with your content. You got to let something else take over. You got to stay away from something that's your temptation. You can't make your temptation profitable. All right, so let's go back to her video because I've got some more thoughts. Hold on. Oh, oops. There we go. All right, let's keep going.
I wish I could talk to the surgeon, of course, one-on-one, because it is a lot of like telephone and like through the grapevine type thing. And I would love to talk to the surgeon one-on-one. I understand I can't right now. The surgeon is very popular. There's just a way that they do things. And I
Amber, listen, I know you want this surgery, but please don't embarrass yourself. Surgeons are very, very busy people. They work long, long, hard hours. Their schedules are ultra busy. Don't be bothering a surgeon just because you want the surgery a lot sooner. Don't do that. If it's not just the surgeon that's telling you no, it's the dietitian, it's the psychologist. Just take what they say and say, you know what? Okay, so my surgery's in about a year. Let me get started at home. Don't bother professional people that are busy. Are you serious? You're just trying to find a workaround when you shouldn't be finding a workaround. You should be finding a way to do what you can at home. And there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do. I've seen videos on YouTube of people that they got it done. They did it at home. They were using YouTube videos to work out to. They were using dance videos to work out to. They watched videos on YouTube. Anything you want to know about how to live healthy and eat healthy, there's a video for it on YouTube. You can just make a whole playlist of like different helpful things and watch the videos and find healthy snacks and make healthy snacks and just go with that. You know, you can work at home on yourself. Keep going to a psychologist, go to a therapist. work on the upstairs as well as the downstairs, put the work together, and get a lot of results. Don't just look at the surgeon as a Tinkerbell that's going to wave a magic wand over your head and boom, you've lost 300 pounds. It don't work like that. Because even if a surgeon did put you under, after the surgery is over, there's more work to do. The work doesn't stop the moment you got off that table.
I understand that. So I think after, she talks to the surgeon and communicates to me what the surgeon thinks should happen, I think I'll have a clearer answer. And I think what would be really helpful to me, and I don't know if this is because I have that obsessive side of me. I was diagnosed with OCPD, which is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. I was diagnosed with that 5 years ago. And it was just a couple years ago, I was diagnosed with actual OCD. You can have both. So I don't know if it's one of these, but it's I feel like I need to have my surgery date scheduled, even if it is a year from now or 10 months from now. I want to know the date because for some reason it's I know I'm working towards something big and something amazing and something life-changing, but I feel like if I have that exact date, then it's I could touch it, I could feel it, I know it's there. I don't know if that's part of my OCPD, but I just feel like I need it scheduled. And it's obviously if I don't meet requirements and I don't do what they tell me to do, et cetera, then the surgery is going to be canceled. But it's if
that could also backfire though. That could also backfire a little bit. If let's just say you had a date for the surgery scheduled a year from now. Let's just say you had one right now. It might go the other way. Let's just say if you had a surgery date scheduled, you might take that information and say to yourself, well, I've got surgery in about a year, so I don't have to try. I don't have to work. I don't have to work on myself because I'm going to get surgery and that's just going to fix everything. So mentally, you might take it in that direction. You might take it that way. It might give you motivation to work on yourself, but if you're in a negative mental state, which you are because you have a defeatist attitude from the jump, you might also get lazy and say, well, I've got a date scheduled, I'm locked in, so I don't have to work any longer. So you still have to work on yourself. You still have to put the work in to get the results, whether it's before the surgery or after. So put the work in now, get the results now.
If I do everything they tell me I'm going to do and what I'm supposed to do, and it's if I have a date for when my life is absolutely going to change, I can see myself being more successful.
Your life could change now. You don't have to wait 6 months. You don't have to wait a year. It can change right now. It could change today, right now, this minute. You could put on a YouTube videos and just dance around and burn a bunch of calories. You could exercise in front of your TV. What else do you have to do all day? You don't have a job. You don't have children to take care of. You could exercise all day long. You could work on yourself in every way. You've got all the time and space that you need. You can get a lot of results. Do you realize how lucky you are? You're very lucky, ma'am. You're on YouTube making good money. You could take that money and put it towards positive things rather than just going to a store and doing impulse buys. You've got whatever, you got the time, you've got the resources, you've got the money, anything you need to be healthier, to be happier. It's at your fingertips. A lot of people wish they had those things. You've got them in abundance. So use them the right way. Stop being so foolish with your money and your time.
It doesn't make sense to you guys, I'm sure. I'm sure it's not going to make any sense, which is fine, but just don't come for me. Don't judge me. It seems more obtainable. It's I could touch it. I could feel it. I could taste it. if like there's an actual date. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, okay? It's just because I hate the unknown. I hate the unknown. It's like the worst. So that is something that is possible because I know there are people, because there's people who have reached out to me who have gotten weight loss surgery. So many of you. So thank you for reaching out to me on my Instagram and sharing your stories. I love reading them and corresponding with you guys. A lot of you actually had your surgery like scheduled for 3 months out. And I was like, okay, so if people can do that, then I'm pretty sure like 10 to 12 months out is possible as well. It's just, it gives me a goal. It's like a physical goal. And there's no unknown. There's no like, oh my God, when is this?
So what are you going to do? You're going to go to the surgeon, you're going to go to the dietitian and the psychiatrist and say, well, people have reached out to me on Instagram and YouTube and they got their surgery really, really quick. Why are you waiting so long to operate on me? Is that the thinking? Perhaps those other people that reached out to you, maybe they were in better health. Maybe they lost a lot of weight. I mean, everybody's different. You cannot base what's going on with you based on what other people have gone through. If the surgeons and the doctors are telling you to wait, there's a reason.
Going to happen. So that is something that I want to talk about with my dietitian and then like the surgeon, because eventually I will be seeing the surgeon and I'm excited for that appointment because it's like the surgeon is like the end all be all type thing. And for a minute there I thought it was the psychologist was the end all be all, but it's not. There's so many little tiny things when you get weight loss surgery outside of like the bigger picture and the bigger things that you have to change. It's a lot. And someone like me with OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, where I feel like I have to be in control and I have to have it the right way, and like the appointments have to be the right way in the right order, and it's just like I don't have this control. And I feel like I would have a sense of control if I just like had an exact date.
So you're basically saying you're a control freak. You're a control freak that you like to have control, and this is a situation where you cannot control things and it's just driving you batty. That's essentially what you're saying. You're a control freak. You want to be able to control everything, but other people are involved, and because they have a say so, you don't like it.
I could work towards that goal. I'm totally rambling right now, but I don't know. I'm just feeling more hopeful. I know in that video where I told you guys like this whole year it just gives me room to fail, blah blah blah. Like I've obviously had some time to like think on it and absorb the information given to me, and I've had some people tell me that I was a spoiled brat because I was upset.
And I agree.
That to me was like, ma'am, spoiled brat who?
No. You, definitely you, definitely you, because you're not considering what could have happened. What could have happened was you go in for a surgery consultation and them telling you, absolutely not, no surgery for you, never. But what did happen was they said, well, if you want the surgery, you have to wait a year. So they didn't say no. They didn't give you an immediate yes and a date, but they did not say no. So there is some hope there. They just want you to show that you are committed to the process and they want to see results. They want you to be in the best health you can possibly be in before the surgery. So you were acting like a spoiled brat because you weren't getting your way.
No, I'm ready to actively change my life. And I know that with weight loss surgery, it's going to make it happen quicker and faster. It's going to save my life. Hold on, someone's calling me.
No. See, this is where you're screwing up. The surgery is not going to save your life. It's not. I will tell you though, what will save your life? You fixing your problem with food and fixing your life. That has nothing to do with the surgery. All that a surgeon can do is make your stomach smaller. That's it. They can't fix the thoughts in your head. They can't fix the urges. They can fix just a part of your body and then sew you back up, and that's it. That's all. The rest is on you. The rest is up to you. It's all on you now, Amber. It's completely on you. See, you're looking at this surgery as this is it. This is my last resort. No, it's not. Work on you. Work on all of you, your mind, your body, your heart, your spirit, all of it. There are many different parts involved in the machine. And here's the thing, your stomach is not the most important part. The mind controls the body, does it not? The mind is the captain of the ship. And right now, your captain is out of his mind, and he's out of control. Get him under control. That way you can steer the ship where you want it to go. But don't look at the surgery as a magic cure-all. It ain't.
Anyways, let me answer this, and I will talk to you guys later. But I'm not a spoiled brat. I'm just ready to change my life. Okay, I'm back. I just got off the phone. I just felt like I needed to finish my thought process. Yeah, I've had time to like think and like absorb and process, and obviously it was disheartening because like in my heart I was like, yeah, I got this. I'm totally gonna get surgery by summer. And it's like the fact that I was told that, you know, that's probably not going to happen. Like, of course that was a little sad. And it's like, if I wouldn't have felt that way, if I would have just been like, oh, okay, that's totally fine, then I know I'm not wanting this at all.
Wanting what? You don't want to be healthier?
Because I'm very much like instant gratification. I want, you know, that instant.
Oh, okay. So you know what I'm picking up here, y'all? I'm sensing that Amber just wanted to do what was required to get the psychologist and get the doctors and dietitians to approve the surgery. Like she was just doing the bare minimum to get them thinking that what they needed to think in order to approve her. And then after she got approved, then she'd be like, huh, I got this. I fooled them. I did the little bit of work and that's all I have to do. And now I'm going to get the surgery and that's going to fix everything. That's how it sounds to me. No, it's not how it goes. There's work before and then there's work after.
And it's like, I only want that when I really want something. So if I wouldn't have felt the way that I did when I was first told that information, then it's like, that's an indicator that, Amberlynn, you don't want this as bad as you thought you did, you know? So it's like the fact that I did react that way is a total Amberlynn. Like, of course I'm going to feel disheartened and I'm going to, you know, I've spent my whole life, like my first diet when I was 11 years old, I've spent my whole life yo-yo dieting. And it's like, if I was able to do it by myself, oh, someone just walked past the window. If I was able to do it by myself and be successful by myself, then I would have already done it. And I know that with this extra tool of weight loss surgery, it's going to change my life and it's going to help me. This might be the tool that might actually save my life. Example, if you're trying to hang up this picture and it's like you try to hang it up for 10 years and it's not hanging. You're like, what is happening? You realize, oh, okay, this picture is pretty heavy. Maybe I need a nail. Get that nail. The nail is right there. It's in arm's reach. But they say, you know what? Let's wait a year. You're like, damn. I just need that one last little tool so I can hang the picture on my wall. That might be a bad metaphor, but.
Well, I'm going to just throw this argument at you, Amber. Let's just say you got the surgery. You got it yesterday, right? You're in recovery, you're fine. What if it doesn't work? Then what are you going to do? What if you get the surgery, your stomach is smaller, and you continue to eat the way that you've been eating, and you're not losing weight? What then? What if this one thing that you're hinging all of your hope on does not work just because you did not get to the root of the problem and fix it? Are you just going to give up? Are you going to throw up your hands and go, I quit? I mean, life is worth fighting for. A quality life is certainly worth fighting for. You're hinging all of your hopes on a procedure rather than saying, okay, there's not just one way to do this, there's several ways. And I'm going to find each and every one of them and I'm going to experiment. I'm going to search out things and see what works for me. There's not just one path to something, there are many. And half the fun is going down each path and experimenting and seeing what works. All that the surgery is going to do is make your stomach small, but you know what would really help? Controlling what goes into your mouth and in what portions. It would serve you greatly if you got good sleep, if you watched your portions, if you watched when you're eating something, like what time of the day or night. Like eat generally your biggest meals in the daytime, and that way you have time during the day to burn off the calories, and eat your lightest meals at night, because when you go to bed, if you've got stuff in your stomach, A, you're not going to sleep very well. B, those calories, you're not burning them off. Guess what happens? They turn into fat. So no eating large meals right before bed. Try eat what is required. Okay. If you're not burning a lot of calories, don't take in a lot of calories. Exercise. Do some moderate exercise, some low impact cardio. Like again, there are YouTube videos that low impact cardio, for dancing. Walk if you can, walk outside, walk inside your house, back and forth, do a stair stepper, whatever it is you need to do. You've got the money. You can buy whatever you need. Start now. You're counting on this surgery to help you lose weight. Before the surgery even starts, you can probably lose about 50 to 100 pounds if the surgery is in about a year. Imagine that, walking into a surgery and you're 100 pounds lighter. Wouldn't that just feel good? To feel that much lighter, it would be amazing for you.
That's just the best way to explain it, that like my picture can't be hung without the nail, and that's my metaphor for weight loss surgery.
Well, see, there's your mistake. The picture can't be hung without the nail. So you're basically saying the surgery is the only thing that's going to work. No, it's not.
Sure, I can lose some weight on my own,
right?
But I can't get to a healthy weight without the help of surgery. And
why not?
And you guys have seen that. I've lost.
That's because you keep doing the B moments. If you stop the B moments, if you eat correctly, you would lose the weight. Amber, listen to me. I don't know your exact weight. You're what, in the 500s? It takes a certain amount of calories to keep that weight on. Decrease the amount of calories you're eating, and you will lose the weight. In order to maintain 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, you have to take in a certain amount of calories to maintain that. When you decrease those calories, you will lose the weight. If you up your activity level, you'll burn even more calories. You'll feel better. You'll sleep better. So, like, how many calories are you taking in, Mama, that you're maintaining the 500s?
89 pounds multiple times in my life. The most I've ever lost is 116. I can't go any further than that. Like, I need help. And that is why weight loss surgery is there. And, I'm very saddened that people took it that way, that I seemed like a spoiled brat or like I was throwing a tantrum.
You were.
God, no. God, no.
You are throwing a temper tantrum. I mean, they told you you're going to have to wait a year for surgery, and you're saying, I want to speak to the surgeon. How are you now throwing a temper tantrum?
It was just so.
Not accepting the word no.
I've been so stressed with all of the tests, and not being able to turn to food for like emotional reasons. And, you have to realize that for years at a time, for months at a time, whatever it may be, whatever era I was in my life, I would turn to food all the time. And already that being taken from me because I'm so serious about weight loss surgery, like already that being taken, it just adds a whole other stress on top of like all the appointments and just everything. It's just been really stressful. And I don't.
You know, Amber, let me give you a little bit of advice as someone who's been there. If food was your go to for stressful moments, for moments when you're bored, moments when you feel sad and depressed, if that was your go to, if that was the thing that gave you the most pleasure and the most comfort, if you've got a problem or obsession or addiction, you have to find something that gives you just as much pleasure, as much comfort as food. And here's the good thing, there are tons of things out there that are wonderful, that are positive, that you can get that feeling of reward out of, and they don't involve calories. Let me give you some examples. How about painting? How about sketching? How about writing? How about photography? I love photography. One of my favorite photographers was Dorothea Lange. She wonderful photographer. She had the eye. She took some amazing, amazing pictures in her day. Really beautiful, stark, just amazing photography. Anybody that's into photography, I recommend Dorothea Lange. She had a sensitivity about the people that she photographed. She told the truth, and yet she didn't do it in a vulgar way. But photography, it teaches you perspective. When you're doing photography, you are capturing a moment that may never come again. So painting or pottery or sculpture or music, dancing, doing something creative, you get something from that and you're not hurting yourself. If you have an addiction of any kind and you're only getting pleasure or comfort with that thing that you're addicted to, the big task becomes finding something else to replace it with to push the other one out. It could be more than one thing. You could find more than one thing to give you comfort or happiness. Find a bunch of things if that's what you need to do. But you have to get away from the go-to thing, which is toxic. You have to find something else that equals it in happiness and reward. That is your challenge. If food is your comfort, if food is your love, if food gives you pleasure, and you know it's bad for you, you know you're wrapped around it too much, you have to find something else to replace it with. And there's all kinds of things in the world that can do it. All kinds of wonderful things. You've got tons of journals. Why not put them to good use? Write in them, write some poetry, write a story, record your thoughts, draw in them, paint in them. Design some clothing. I don't know what talents you have. Design jewelry. I mean, there's all kinds of creative ways to express yourself. And once you get wrapped into whatever it is that's positive, you won't be thinking about food so much.
Need people to understand that, but I guess it's just like to be called a spoiled brat when it's like that's not me. That's not me. That is not who I am as a person at all.
You're not a spoiled brat. Then when doctors say, ma'am, no, 1 year, wait 1 year. Don't throw a temper tantrum. Don't get angry or upset if they tell you no. Just be an adult and say, okay, I understand. You've made your decision. It's the best for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the work at home and prepare. And we'll talk in about a year. And in the meantime, you can lose weight. You can find other hobbies. You can find other things to do. That is the way to handle it.
And to be told like you're throwing a tantrum.
You were.
What? Yeah, I'm sad that like saving my life has been prolonged, and I know a lot of people are like,
No, no, it hasn't. You can start now. Stop with that attitude. It's driving me nuts. Stop it. You can work on yourself now. Stop with this. I'm going to wait a year for my life to change. It can change now.
like do it yourself then in this year. Yeah, I'm gonna do what they tell me, but I'm not gonna be able to actively save my life in this year
Why not?
until I get weight loss surgery. Just like
Oh, boom. She just, oh, there it is. There it is. I'm not going to actively do anything until surgery. There you go. And that's exactly why they told you no. That's exactly why. There, that attitude right there. That attitude right there. Girl, no. No. Uh-uh. No. You're going to wait a year? Get the surgery and then do what? Just sit on your butt? So how the surgery supposed to work?
I cannot hang this picture successfully until I have the nail that I need. And I don't know how else to explain that. And I'm just very grateful that like my dietitian completely understands where I'm coming from, because you sometimes the risk of getting weight loss surgery is less than the risk of not getting it. And that is a very like hot topic of like which is more risky for me currently. And I've in my heart and in my soul, I feel like it's more risky for me not to get the surgery, because we all know. We all know Amberlynn, and I don't hold on to success for months at a time. I don't. Like I'll do amazing for a couple weeks and then I just fall flat.
So, like, let's apply that same logic. If you got the surgery and you're on a high and then you fall off, what then? What then? Are you going to use the fact that you've had the surgery to have a B moment again? To go overboard? And then you're just going to say, well, I did have the surgery. That's it. I quit. That's all. That's it. Close the curtain. I give up. Is that where your mind is at? You've really got to fix your mind. It's a mess up there.
And I end up failing because I feel like I have nothing to work towards. And now I do. You know, I have weight loss surgery to work towards. Bottom line, and long story short, it's just this program worries about people with BED or possible BED, because you don't want your stomach to rupture after surgery or anything like that. Whether I was misdiagnosed in the past or not, the fact is I was diagnosed and I was seeing a psychologist for a year. I literally had someone message me and they're like, my first appointment with the weight loss surgery place is coming up. And should I lie to them about having binge eating disorder?
You know, I don't know how much your doctors know. I don't know how much your dietitians know, if they know about your channel. But any doctor who saw your channel, any psychologist that saw your channel, and then you're applying for the surgery, if they saw your content where you're sitting there monetizing your problem with food and you were doing it recently, would just on that alone, they would say no. Just on that alone, they would say no. The amount of food that you've eaten, that you continue to eat, definitely not. You're not ready.
And I responded to them and I said, no, you need to be honest. Because, yes, for some programs like mine, it's a big setback. I know there's a lot of programs out there where it's not like this. And unfortunately, I'm not lucky enough to have found that program. But it's like there's a big bittersweet, because the surgeon I'm seeing, phenomenal. The team, phenomenal. Like, I love the dietitian. I love everyone that I've spoken to at this weight loss clinic. Everyone I have seen, phenomenal. Like, everything that I feel has nothing to do with them. It has been just an amazing experience besides this setback, but it has nothing to do with them. So everything that I'm saying is just because, like, I'm an impatient little gal and I'm ready to save my life. I'm fucking ready. A year does seem super far, I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay. It's okay. Time goes by regardless. And in a year from now, I could be in a way better spot, you know? So I have to really look at like the positives of the situation as well. Like they're looking out for me and I love that. So what I was saying was like, yeah, someone messaged me and said, should I tell them should I lie about that? And I was like, what? No. I hope that that is not what I am portraying as a person, that you should lie, because that is no, you need to be 100% honest. I never even for like 3 seconds thought, maybe I should lie. No, do not do that. And I hope that my story is not making other people want to lie their way into surgery or out of surgery. Like, absolutely not. But I do feel like, because a lot of people seem to be confused with my whole BED story, diagnosed situation. I do want to, in a different video, because I feel like I'm being so long winded. I was not expecting this, to sit and just like talk. So I'm sorry. But I think in a future video, I do want to explain the process of me being diagnosed and what was said and that whole situation, because I know there are a lot of people who are like so confused. Or like, how come 1 minute you have it, 1 minute you don't? So I think maybe I should just like go further into detail. And you know, that brings me to like so many situations in my life, because I've had people like,
Okay, she's just rambling right here, but you guys get the gist of what's going on here. So Amber won surgery. She's looking at it as basically a cure-all. She thinks that after the surgery that she's going to be completely fine, that she doesn't have the urges to eat. She does. She will. And that's why they're telling her no. And she's just basically got a defeatist attitude. I'm going to say this again to you, Amber. You don't have to wait a year from now to get results. You can start at home. There's so many things you can do, but ultimately, it is up to you. And something that would help you greatly is to find something or a bunch of things that can divert your thoughts and your attention off of food. Something that gives you pleasure, something that gives you reward, something you feel good about, where calories are not involved. And there's a multitude of things. You could play video games, you could paint, you could write, you could create art, you could do photography. There's all kinds of ways of expression that you could do that take up great amounts of time to where you won't be so focused on food. Okay, but that is going to be the goal, to get your mind right with food, unravel all the issues around food, and then find something that gives you that sense of self gratification and reward and pleasure that you're looking for. Obviously, you're looking for it. Obviously, it's very important to you, but you need to find something that equals it or surpasses it as far as feeling good. That's going to be huge for you, but it can be done. It absolutely can be done. So it's up to you now. You got to put the work in. If you don't put the work in, you won't get the reward. You do, you will. So hope everybody enjoyed my React video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.